So I wanted to build on something that we talked about yesterday, and that is, if you remember, we talked about social media and how social media fuels our narcissism and causes us to think about ourselves, focus on ourselves in inordinate amount. And this is where a lot of the self-esteem issues come from. It's not that we think badly about ourselves in this culture. It's just that we think about ourselves way too often. We spend way too much time thinking about ourselves. And when we do that, of course we're going to notice our flaws, and of course we're going to be obsessed with those flaws because we're obsessed with ourselves. And then we chalk that up to a self-esteem problem when really it's a narcissism problem. It's almost the opposite of a self-esteem problem. And now that isn't to say that we should never notice our flaws. We need to be self-aware. We need to know that we have flaws, but we shouldn't spend all day noticing them. And the best thing to do with a character flaw or a moral flaw is to, once you notice it, to then just set out to correct it, to live your life and try to correct it in the way that you live your life. And the best thing to do with an unfixable physical flaw is to just forget it. And again, live your life. Either way, the process is harder, and we are interfering with it when we are too focused on ourselves. Now, I mentioned that I think these love yourself, embrace your flaws types of campaigns are misguided. And they're very common these days, of course, where we're constantly being told to love yourself, love yourself. I think it's misguided because we should be encouraging each other to forget about ourselves. Forget yourself and focus on other things. Look outward instead of always inward. So I don't agree with running around and telling everyone to love themselves. And in fact, I think that if we just drop that phrase from our vocabulary completely and never again discussed loving yourself, self-love, you got to love your, if we never talked about those things ever again, we would be better for it.